Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the University of Strathclyde and the Barony Hall. Could you please take a seat? I'm Professor Stephen MacArthur. I'm the Principal and Vice-Chancellor of the University, and it's my real pleasure to welcome you here for this joyous day. Graduations are an absolute high point in the university calendar. It's the time when we transform our students who are currently graduands into graduates. And we do that by bringing them across this stage shortly, and then I cap them, which is a long-standing rite of passage. And by capping them, I confer their degree, and they magically transform from a graduand to a graduate of the University of Strathclyde. And while we're doing that, we're joined on stage by the academics that helped them in that journey, members of the university executive team, and members of the university court, which is our highest governing body, and we're all here to celebrate with you the success of our students. And many people are local, but we are also joined from people all around the world, friends, family, and loved ones of our international students who are here to celebrate. Perhaps you're even from a part of the world that's still in the World Cup, of which we're quite jealous. But you're all still very welcome. So we'll be moving forward shortly with the graduation ceremony, but sometimes on these occasions we have an extra special element, and we have that today, where we confer honorary degrees. And in conferring these honorary degrees, what we're doing is recognizing people in society who have made fantastic contributions and are fantastic role models for all of us, but particularly for our students. And I'm delighted we have two of those honorary graduates that you're going to find out more about today. We have John Pettigrew and Louise Kingham, who you're going to hear much more about their engineering careers, their contribution in their field, and what they've done for society. So that's an extra special element. And then the graduates will get to hear a little bit from them about their story and give some inspirational thoughts and comments to them. So we'll be moving shortly on to the graduation ceremony. I know that you're here to celebrate. It feels a bit of an austere building, but please, when your loved one comes across the stage, please feel free to make your presence known, and knowing that you have supported them, that's allowed, that's okay. Once we've finished the graduation ceremony, then we'll form an academic procession, because the weather has been good recently, and we will head up to the Learning and Teaching building, where there'll be a reception and a chance to more informally catch up, celebrate, and meet friends and family. So with that, I'm going to declare this graduation ceremony open, and I'm going to invite Professor Campbell Booth, the Dean of Engineering, to present our first honorary graduate, Louise Kingham.
Principal and Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you Louise Kingham, CBE. We will hear from Louise shortly, but I wanted to introduce her background and tell you about some of her inspirational achievements. Louise is a leader in the energy industry, a sector that is so important to us all. It's very complex, facing challenges, and it's not historically known for its gender balance. Strathclyde works extensively in energy, and I'm very much looking forward to working more closely with Louise in the future as she formally joins the Strathclyde family today. Louise started her journey as the first person in her family to attend university by undertaking a degree in business and change management, which was very apt. Her institution changed its name 3 times during her studies. From Louise's account, this course was well ahead of its time, oversubscribed, with a year spent working in industry to solve business problems. Louise spent time with Guinness, Thomson Publishing, and the NHS, among others. The course attracted a very diverse range of students, and it's clearly prepared Louise very well for her subsequent career. After university and further study for a postgraduate diploma, Louise had part-time jobs while applying for permanent jobs, before receiving 2 offers on the same day, one from Vidal Sassoon and another from the Institute of Energy. A tough decision to make between 2 very contrasting paths. I'm glad to say she chose the energy path. Louise's career then progressed at a remarkable pace. Within less than 5 years, she became CEO of the Institute of Energy, a UK-focused chartered professional body established in 1925 for people studying or working in energy. She later became Director General of the Institute of Petroleum, which was founded in 1913. Within a year, she had made the case to the trustees and key stakeholders for merging these two bodies to create a single international chartered professional body with a focus across the whole energy system. Today, it has more than 20,000 individuals and over 200 companies as members. She also led many significant and sometimes radical innovations, digitising health and safety guidance so it could be accessed anywhere in the world. This guidance is downloaded every few minutes today. She created a young professionals network and a shadow board to give young aspiring leaders a real voice, and she gave fellows of the Institute space to help shape policy and help policymakers understand the complexity of energy systems to make better informed choices. Since 2021, Louise has now been Senior Vice President for Europe and Head of Country for the UK at BP. BP, as you know, is a major global energy company operating in 60 markets. It continues to deliver energy where it is needed every day, while making disciplined investments in low-carbon energy to support the energy transition. Her wider leadership is equally impressive. She's a non-executive director of VH Global Energy Infrastructure plc, a sustainable energy investment trust, a member of the Powerful Women Leaders Coalition for Inclusion and Diversity, and a member of 2 advisory boards at Business in the Community, the King's Charity for Responsible Business. Her contribution has been recognised nationally. She received an OBE in 2011 and a CBE in 2022 for services to the energy industry. In 2017, she was awarded an honorary doctorate in science from the University of Bath. While all of this was going on, she raised 3 children and completed a few other things in her spare time, including skydiving from 12,000 feet for charity. The energy sector has traditionally been and remains to a large extent a male-dominated environment. In her early career, Louise was the boss of an almost exclusively male team, many of them at least 25 years older than her. She's a passionate advocate for diversity and inclusion, chairing BP's UK DE&I Council, and, as mentioned earlier, occupying DE&I focused roles in other organisations. Louise has stated that inclusion is not a nice to have, but it's a foundation for innovation, resilience and better decision making in business. Another way of looking at this might be, if you only listen to half the voices, you'll only ever get half the solution. At Strathclyde, we pride ourselves in being a place of useful learning, making impact in many ways. Louise exemplifies what it means to be a Strathclyder. She has a commitment to impact through her work on energy and climate change, a belief in collaboration across sectors and communities, a dedication to inclusion, ensuring opportunity is widened, not narrowed, and a focus on future generations. That's you, graduands. As Louise herself has advised others, be curious and courageous, say yes and then work it out. Therefore, it is with great pleasure, Principal and Vice-Chancellor, that with the authority of Senate, I ask you to confer upon Louise Kingham the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa.
Louise, I create you Doctor of Science honoris causa. Welcome to the University of Strathclyde family.
Well, that has to be the longest I've stood still saying nothing. Principal and Vice-Chancellor Campbell, colleagues from academia, distinguished guests, very, very proud families, and of course, importantly, all of you who are graduating as the class of 2026. Congratulations, you've done it. How brilliant. And I am really both privileged and honoured to be with you and to be part of today's celebrations with you and just take that moment, alongside, of course, being honoured in the way that I just have been by the university, for which I am deeply grateful. But to those of you graduating, you survived the late nights, the failed simulations, the lab reports that somehow grew longer every time that you looked at them, and you came out the other side as engineers, real engineers. And that matters more right now than at almost any point in history. We have some global challenges that engineers of all disciplines can help us to navigate, because every system is an engineering problem to solve for. I will use the example of my world of energy, if I may, to illustrate that. We are living through yet another energy system transformation, a transition which arguably is the most significant ever attempted. The decisions made in the next 10 to 20 years, the infrastructure that is built, the technology that is deployed, and the systems designed will then shape the planet for a century to come. And many of those decisions will be enabled and made by engineers like you. Strathclyde has always understood this, sitting at the heart of a city built on engineering genius. The shipyards, the bridges, the innovations that powered an empire and rebuilt a nation. This university carries that tradition forward. You are now part of that lineage, and the world is waiting for what you will do next. Now, here's something I'd like you to know about your university that you're leaving today but will remain part of the family of. Strathclyde isn't just watching that transition happen, it's helping to lead it. Through the National Manufacturing Institute of Scotland, this university is a founding partner, alongside BP and Scottish Enterprise, of a 6.5 million energy incubator and scale-up hub in Aberdeen's energy transition zone. That is not a pilot or a talking shop. That is a real facility. I was there just recently, just last month, built to grow the companies and the technologies that will power the next chapter of the UK's energy story. Your university is at that table and has an important role to play. And so does my current organisation, BP, a company undergoing its own transformation, as you heard, while providing the energy that the world very much needs today, and also that for the future. Predominantly providing oil and gas today, but also investing with discipline in the energy transition, in technologies like offshore wind, green hydrogen, EV infrastructure, bioenergy, and carbon capture at scale. Working together, BP has been a research partner here at Strathclyde, sponsoring work in offshore engineering and renewable energy that your own academics have led. Then there is the Energy Institute you heard mentioned, where I was CEO for many years. The chartered professional home for energy engineers worldwide, a body that sets standards, enables chartered engineering status, and connects over 20,000 professionals across 100 countries. And here's something that I love more recently. BP has published the world's most authoritative energy data, the Statistical Review of World Energy, for some 70 years. But in 2023, we decided that it would be the responsibility of the Energy Institute going forward, because we believed that data should be available to all in the professional community, indeed belonging to that professional community. And there, your university is also a partner in that professional community through the accreditation of your courses, getting you on the road early to become chartered engineers and connecting you to that global network. So that's the kind of ecosystem you're traveling through on your journey, one where industry, universities, and professional bodies work together in the public interest for the long term and for society's benefit. One interconnected community that I have the privilege to be part of and have done so for many years. I gave energy as my example, but actually the same can be true of all branches of engineering being celebrated today. So here is what I leave you with. Engineering is at its core an act of hope. Every turbine assumes there will be a future worth powering. Every system you design says, I believe things can work better than they do now. That world needs that belief, urgently. It needs people who will look at the complex, broken, or urgent problem and say, that is not someone else's job, but let me work out how to make it better. That is what Strathclyde has helped you to do, to get to this point. And the network around you and the community you are now part of is there to support you going forward on your journey. I was a CEO first at the age of 27, many, many years ago. One of the very few women and much younger than my fellow CEOs. And in summary, I've been one ever since, in charities, in professional organisations and in business, working alongside academia and government as I travel my journey so far. The lessons I have learned from that time are many, but I'll share just a few. To be kind and inclusive, to be courageous or incredibly stubborn, but definitely tenacious and determined. To believe something could be done when others said it couldn't, and to say yes to the opportunity and then crunch the problem. To believe in what is right, and I thank my wonderful parents for that lesson as I now try to share it with my own children. So if I may humbly offer some advice, always be you, the best that you can be every single day. And do so whilst being kind, thoughtful, and curious. Push doors open but never close them behind you, and always have gratitude. So, go fix things, go and build things, go and power things, go and make things better. As engineers, it's you that make the world work, addressing systems and challenges that we must find solutions to for society's benefit. You are not just graduates today, you are engineers, ready to take your next step and make a difference in the world. Very many congratulations to all of you, class of 2026.
Principal and Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you John Pettigrew. In recognising John today, we celebrate not only an outstanding business leader, but someone whose work has helped shape the energy infrastructure on which both modern life and the decarbonisation of energy and transport depends, and whose example will inspire future generations to apply their talents to the service of society. Joining National Grid in 1991 as a graduate trainee, John went on to serve in a wide range of senior roles across operations, engineering, regulation, asset management and executive leadership. He was appointed Group Chief Executive in 2016, subsequently leading one of the world's largest publicly listed utilities for almost 10 years and being responsible for around 30,000 staff and capital programmes of up to £60 billion. Throughout, his academic background in economics has been supplemented with a continued commitment to learning and personal development, including at Harvard Business School. He's a Fellow of the Energy Institute and of the Institution of Engineering and Technology, in recognition of both his professional standing and his contribution to the energy sector. Yet achievements and titles tell only part of the story. John's career demonstrates the value of leadership with purpose and an exemplary drive for performance excellence and strategic relationships. That commitment has been reflected in National Grid's long-standing relationship with the University of Strathclyde. The company has an award-winning record of collaboration with the university's electrical power engineering teams, and under John's leadership, those links have been strengthened and broadened. This includes innovation in doctoral training, student scholarships such as through the IET Power Academy, staff development through continuing professional development, and research and innovation programmes impacting the drive to net zero. Under John's leadership, National Grid underwent major strategic change. It sharpened its focus on electricity networks and on the investment needed for the transition to lower carbon energy systems. In an era of global effort to decarbonise power and improve resilience, his leadership has placed National Grid at the forefront of that transformation. These achievements have not only been about infrastructure, but also about people. John has been a strong advocate for developing the skilled workforce needed for the future of energy. Under his leadership, National Grid has helped address the sector's skills gap and supported the education and training of future engineers and innovators. The scale of that responsibility has been considerable. National Grid, under John's tenure, has played a pivotal role in the realisation of an energy infrastructure that has enabled the UK to become the first major economy in the world to cut its territorial greenhouse gas emissions by over 50% since 1990. He has at the same time overseen substantial long-term investment programmes. Beyond National Grid, John has contributed to wider corporate and public life. He served on major international energy bodies, including for the Electric Power Research Institute and the Edison Electric Institute, and held senior non-executive responsibility in Rentokil Initial. John has also supported Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year, Business in the Community Environment Leadership Team, and General Mentoring. These roles reflect the high regard in which his judgment and experience are held. I have to say, judgment that does not appear to have been tarnished, despite his long-suffering and passionate support of the Welsh rugby team. John Pettigrew has devoted his career to one of the defining challenges of our age, delivering the energy on which daily life depends while helping to build a more sustainable future. Over more than 3 decades in the energy sector, he's shown a rare combination of strategic leadership, operational experience, and deep commitment to change on a national and international scale. Therefore, it's with great pleasure, Principal and Vice-Chancellor, that with the authority of Senate, I ask you to confer upon John Pettigrew the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa.
John, I create you Doctor of Science honoris causa. Welcome to the Strathclyde family. I'll get your hood and...
Principal and Vice-Chancellor, staff, distinguished guests, and most importantly, you, the graduating class of 2026. Thank you so much for those kind words and for inviting me to share in your celebrations. Standing here today reminds me of my own graduation. I sat in a hall very much like this, wearing a similar gown, feeling exactly what I suspect you're feeling, a powerful mix of pride, excitement, and a sharp sense of trepidation about what comes next. So if you're feeling those emotions today, let me reassure you, they're completely normal. When I left university, I had a degree, a desire to make a difference, and absolutely no master plan. If you told me then that a working class boy from the valleys of South Wales would eventually become the CEO of one of the world's largest energy utilities, I would have laughed out loud. I had absolutely no roadmap. So if you're concerned that the next 20, 30, or many years are not perfectly mapped out, just don't worry, they don't need to be. Trust me, the path will reveal itself over time. And whilst I can't map it out for you, what I thought I'd do today is give you a few tips that might help you along the way. So first, whatever else you do when you start your careers, just be restless. Never accept the status quo. When you start in business, the phrase, "but we've always done it this way," is one you'll hear a lot. The danger is you'll accept it, fall into line, and blend into the background. But in my experience, it's those who challenge the status quo, those who are genuinely restless to find new and better ways of doing things, who build the most successful and impactful careers. For example, whilst I was at National Grid, people would laugh when we said that one day we would run the electricity network without using a single molecule of fossil fuel. Yet on the 22nd of April this year, Great Britain's electricity system shattered the old playbook, running at 98.8% zero-carbon electricity. Your education here at Strathclyde has taught you how to think, how to question, and how to innovate. So please don't lose that spark when you start your careers. Be restless, ask the hard questions, and challenge the world around you. My second tip is very simple. Let your values guide the decisions you make. Throughout your career, you'll face headwinds and unexpected challenges. You'll be tempted to take shortcuts, and you'll face defining moments when the right decision is neither the most popular nor the easiest. In those critical moments, neither corporate strategy nor raw experience will help you, but your values will. You must decide what are the non-negotiable principles that matter to you. For me, it's always been about integrity, ensuring I treat people fairly and with genuine empathy. These values guided me through many difficult days in my career. And my advice to you is to identify your own core values right now, anchor yourselves to them, and use them as your compass. My third tip is to have the courage to own and learn from your mistakes. Setbacks and failures are not just normal, they're an inevitable part of a meaningful career. What defines you is not the stumble itself, but how you respond to it. During my time at National Grid, I had more failures than I care to admit. When you accidentally black out the whole of South London, as I did in 2003, or when a mistake that you made leaves 500,000 customers in New England in the midst of winter without electricity for an entire week, you certainly take a very deep breath. But what I learned from these events was, if you have the courage to stand up, own your mistakes, and actively learn from them, people will not abandon you. They'll respect you, they'll trust you, and support you even more. And so to my final tip. One of the largest projects I delivered during my time at National Grid was the London Power Tunnels, a massive engineering feat to rewire London by digging a 33-kilometre tunnel deep under the city to bring renewable power from the East Coast. To celebrate the launch, Prince Charles, as he was at the time, came to officially open it. There I was, standing in a tiny changing room, hundreds of metres underground, squeezing into high-vis overalls and a safety gear, side by side with the future King of England. And as I stood there checking if the Prince looked as ridiculous in a hard hat as I did, I realised an important lesson. No matter how bizarre, unexpected, or completely surreal a situation gets in your career, just roll with it. So let me conclude by saying, graduates, Strathclyde is world famous as the place of useful learning. This great institution has given you all the skills you'll need to be successful in your careers. But the world right now doesn't need people who just fit in. It needs people like you to challenge and change it. So as you leave this hall today, be restless for change. Stay true to your core values and have the courage to own your own journey. You've earned every bit of the pride you feel today. Congratulations again, and enjoy the day. Thank you.
Principal and Vice-Chancellor, in the name of the University and by the authority of Senate, I present to you these students. For the degree of Doctor of Engineering in Applied Photonics, Ellis Ann Kelly. In Non-Destructive Evaluation, Matthew James McInnes. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy for Research in the Department of Electronic and Electrical Engineering, Alfred Eromaseli Amiolaman. Ahmad Sarir bin Ayub. Hamid Azani. Aisha Cholak. Kevin Sastry Kawal. Brendan Latham. Junyi Liu. Jajun Ma. Samueli Martinelli. Oyedotun Emmanuel Oyewole. Laura Parra Garcia. Lu Shen. Himanshi Singh. Zhu Wong. In Applied Photonics, Aoife Sinead Keane. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with Integrated Study in Ultrasonic Engineering, Elmerhi Emidio Francisco Germano. For the degree of Master of Philosophy for Research in the Department of Electronic and Electrical Engineering, Samantha Steele. In Future Energy and Power System Operation and Management, Ka Tai Lau. In Machine Learning and Deep Learning, Rohan Arya. For the degree of Master of Engineering in Computer and Electronic Systems, Kyle Hanna. Hamid Jamal. Preben Rasamanikam. In Electrical and Mechanical Engineering, Aidan Michael Brooks. Scott James John Campbell. Jonathan Davis. Struan Malcolm Duncan. Jakob Carol Dishko. Rory Connell Tilbrook Flint. Kerr Fulton. Ricky Peter Gilchrist. Glenn George Knox. Duncan Stewart Leslie. Callum McGinn. Alexandra Savzikova. Max Carmody Stancliffe. Francesco Stazzola. Rosa Elizabeth Sweeney. Jamie Gilbert Torrance. Ethan Alexander Wilson. In Electrical and Mechanical Engineering with International Study, Noah Frew. Alexander Lang. Seamus Michael McGuinness. In Electrical Energy Systems, Caelan O'Reilly. Santiago Bernardo Rivet Barragan. In Electronic and Digital Systems, Daniel Alexander Stebbings. In Electronic and Electrical Engineering, Lewis George Carty. Ross Cathcart. Andrew Dennis Comrie. Daniel Conahan. Ross Ahrens. Christopher Gibson. Cameron Kinvig. Duncan Likely. Andre McNee. Kishan Marahaj. Morgan McFarlane. Callum John Mooney. Callum Nisbet. Kieran Patrick O'Donnell. Fraser O'Regan. James William Petrie. Sarup Singh Rayat. Liam Tang. Jakub Tribeck. Bilal Zahid. In Electronic and Electrical Engineering with International Study, Lewis MacDonald. For the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Computer and Electronic Systems, Sophia Happy Banya Cerejido. Gerard Burns. For Laranmi Faboye. Scott McBride. In Electrical and Mechanical Engineering, Scott David Flavelle. Sivan Epek. Samuel Jess. Jarlath McCollum. Red Rutherford. Paul James William Shanks. Ewan Alistair Woods. In Electronic and Electrical Engineering, Ahmed Abdi Absieh. Taha Ahmad. Rhys Blair. Jack Robert Boyle. Yu Yan Chai. Kieran Connor. Marcus Concealan. Thomas Downs. Wojciech Galacka. Tanyi Gao. Taline Han. Hu Ping Huang. Shin Yun Huang. Claire Hyde. Marcus Arthur Keith. Stuart Callick. Sikander Khan. Jean-Yu Lee. Dominic McGee. Ethan McLernan. Lara Moore. Sanyukta Subhash Patil. Nathan Pope. Ryan Russell. William John Walker. Chun Shi Wong. Hao Feng Wong. Zhaoanyang Zhang. Ru Min Zhao. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy for Research in the Department of Electronic and Electrical Engineering, Mohammed Hijaj Tahir.
everyone. Let's congratulate the class of 2026. And I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of you once again on this very special day at the University of Strathclyde. All of the graduates that have just come across the stage have shown great commitment, they've shown resilience, adaptability, and also perseverance to arrive at this day. But none of you now graduates have done it alone. For those of you graduating in the presence of your loved ones, this is a moment of great pride for them. Your family, friends, and supporters have played a crucial role in your success. You would not be here today without their support or perhaps their chequebook. Likewise, our dedicated staff have worked tirelessly to provide you with an exceptional education and student experience, and your achievement reflects their commitment. So why don't you join me in thanking everybody that's helped you get to this stage today? And in a little while, once the ceremony has concluded, we will leave the hall in an academic procession, signifying that you are now full members of the Strathclyde academic community. And you're joining a family of more than 230,000 Strathclyders worldwide who have gone on to excel in their chosen fields. And we often celebrate the names you already know, the famous alumni whose achievements are recorded in headlines or history books. But the truth is, some of the most significant graduates of this university are the ones you may never have heard of. They're the people shaping lives and changing their chosen fields. They may not be household names, but their influence is everywhere. They are the unseen architects of progress, and they embody what useful learning really means. And today, you join their number. And it's that useful learning which University of Strathclyde was created upon. It's that useful learning which informs our teaching, ensuring that our degree programmes equip our graduates with the skills they need to excel in careers that will create a safer, more prosperous and sustainable world. It informs our research, which focuses on tackling practical, real-world challenges, such as the transition to clean energy, developing new medicines, and improving healthcare. It includes advancing manufacturing, quantum and AI technologies, and working towards a more just and equitable society. And you heard from our honorary graduates today about the impact they've made in the energy transition and the place that your institution stands in that journey of helping innovation and skills creation that drives us towards a better future. And it's this useful learning that fuels our graduates, and it now fuels you to help to create jobs, grow economies, increase prosperity, transform communities, improve people's lives, and ultimately make the world a better place. And across all 4 faculties at the university, we see this ethos brought to life in remarkable ways. And today you're graduating from our Faculty of Engineering, and it also exhibits this useful learning. The faculty is the largest in Scotland and brings together disciplines ranging from architecture and biomedical engineering to civil, mechanical, chemical, electrical and design engineering. And it's home to students and staff from across the world. It inspires and equips them to think creatively, work collaboratively, and lead responsibly. And it's united by a drive to design, innovate, and improve the way we live. It is internationally recognised for its research excellence and its close partnerships with industry. And this ensures that ideas move swiftly from the lab to practical application. And through initiatives such as the Scottish Space School and Engineering the Future for Girls, it opens doors for young people and broadens access to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education. And in every project, every innovation, and every graduate who goes on to build a better world, the Faculty of Engineering demonstrates what it means to turn knowledge into action and to use engineering as a force for progress, inclusion, and human good. An example of this is work by researchers in biomedical engineering to develop technology-enriched rehabilitation gyms to help stroke survivors access the evidence-based levels of rehabilitation they need to aid their recovery using state-of-the-art equipment, cognitive and virtual reality tools, and power-assisted machines. These gyms have been rolled out in community settings in Lanarkshire, Edinburgh, and Dundee, with a goal to expand them further. Another example in engineering is Professor Rebecca Lunn, MBE, who has received a Green Future Fellowship to develop a pioneering process that could capture up to 1 billion tonnes of carbon dioxide annually. She is leading research into a low-energy method that uses mechanical force to trigger chemical reactions capable of trapping greenhouse gases. And if applied to the 72 billion tonnes of waste rock crushed globally each year, the technique has the potential to capture around 1 billion tonnes of carbon dioxide annually. And today, graduates, you're graduating from the Electronic and Electrical Engineering Department, which you've heard already from our honorary graduates, that is at the forefront of the energy transition, whether that's renewables, the electrical grid, or nuclear. It's also at the forefront of advanced inspection and robotics for manufacturing and in advanced communications and inspection technologies, among many, many others. So you're graduating from a department and a university that focuses on real-world impact. And it's this real-world impact that captures the spirit of Strathclyde, and it's something that's increasingly being recognised. The Daily Mail named Strathclyde its 2026 UK University of the Year. But the key thing for me as Principal and Vice-Chancellor was the quote that they attributed to it. They said Strathclyde was the embodiment of everything a 21st century university should be. In a world where there's lots of questions about the value of a university education and the impact of universities, Strathclyde remains distinctive and being recognised for creating the skills and innovations that drive the world onwards. We also just moved up in the QS World Rankings to 230th in the world out of 8,800 universities, meaning you graduate from a university that's in the top 15% of world universities. And these are our latest in a long line of awards and league table rankings, but we don't actively chase such awards, and we recognise that rankings go up and down, but it does demonstrate that our approach to teaching, to research, to partnership working, and to making a real difference is being noticed. And we always focus on making real-world impact in many ways, and one of those is through commercialising our research and creating the companies that transform society, the economy, and jobs. And in a very recent Royal Academy of Engineering Spotlight and Spin-Out survey, the University of Strathclyde was placed 14th in the UK for spin-out activity, creating £500 million of economic value since 2010. And graduates, you're graduating from a department that's at the forefront of creating new companies from the research and innovation that it undertakes. So all of this demonstrates that our approach to teaching, to research, to partnership working, and to making a real difference is being noticed. Now, as graduates of this university, you have the opportunity to take what you've learned here and make your own mark on the world. During your time at Strathclyde, you've grown not just in knowledge, but in confidence, resilience, and perspective. You've learned how to solve problems, work with others, and persevere when things get tough. And just as importantly, university isn't only about lectures and exams. It's about the friendships you've built, the experiences you've shared, and the person you've become along the way. Because education is not just about learning something, it's about becoming someone. As graduates of Strathclyde and the future leaders of our society, you now have a responsibility to use your talents to make a positive difference. Whatever path you take, in business, science, education, or public service, remember that you have the power to effect change and inspire others. Use that power with integrity, humility, and empathy, the qualities that will set you apart. You carry not only the knowledge and skills you've gained, but also the spirit of Strathclyde, a spirit of innovation, collaboration, and inclusion. So keep learning, keep questioning, and keep making a positive impact on the world around you. As you move on, please stay connected with us. You'll always be part of this community, and your stories inspire the next generation of Strathclyders to follow. Finally, let me thank again our staff for their dedication and excellence, and the families and friends who have supported you every step of the way. Congratulations once again on this remarkable achievement. You've made us proud, and you will continue to do so in the years ahead. So go forward with confidence, with purpose, and with the knowledge that you are capable of great things. Thank you. Well, that brings us to the end of the formal graduation ceremony. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you were equally inspired as I was by the speeches from our two latest honorary graduates. Great examples of what our new batch of graduates can go on and do. The weather is still good, so what we can do as we finish this ceremony is we can go out in the academic procession. The stage guests will lead off first. Can I then ask our new graduates to follow on behind us in the academic procession? And then after the graduates have left, could everybody else please follow behind us and join us in the Learning and Teaching building for the chance to mingle a bit more informally. So with all of that, I'd like to declare this graduation congregation closed. And if you can I ask you please to be upstanding?